Hey, look, Rick Zekelberry is in studio. Origin Oil CEO, OOIL, is the stock symbol. Of course, originoil.com, breakthrough water cleanup technology for oil and gas, algae, other water-intensive industries. The electro-water separation. I
just went through that with my ex-wife.
The electro-water separation? Or just a separation? Hey, Riggs, the fracking is very controversial. You folks seem to have come up with a technology that is agnostic, regardless if you are a believer in fracking or not. Fracking is here to stay, and it is a big money industry, is it not?
Fracking is huge. 90% of all gas wells in America are being fracked today. Not only that, but the rest of the world's catching up. The Middle East.
Are you just doing what Riggs did to you earlier?
No, not me. What, Middle East fracking, go ahead. We're totally into this.
You guys are getting back at me. I love it. Thank you very much.
We're good.
So Middle East, China, these places are taking off. Why? Because it's superior technology for the oil industry.
Right.
The real question is about the water.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about that, because I don't think a lot of people realize what goes on here. And we're basically talking about gray water, dirty water, used in the fracking process.
Correct.
Okay.
The oil industry uses 1 billion gallons.
An hour.
Actually, 1 billion barrels per year, of which half is returned contaminated. So half a billion barrels.
That's wastewater, right?
That's absolutely wastewater.
Okay.
Okay. So that's roughly 22 billion gallons.
Where does
of water.
it go now?
Back in these huge saltwater disposal wells, old wells that got tapped out, or big salt domes.
Yeah.
And it's going way down below, and they're making absolutely sure it doesn't come out. That's all good.
Right.
But it's being wasted. And what's happening is, first of all, people don't realize that the oil industry is a water handling industry that happens to harvest oil.
Yeah.
Because for every barrel of oil they get, they also get 8 barrels of water.
Okay, so
sizable.
That's extremely sizable. So therein lies the problem, and therein lies someone who's going to provide a solution and the opportunity. Right.
Now there's a brand new research out from Bluefield Research, that just came out a few days ago, and sure enough, it confirms what we know, which is that the oil industry is spending 66% of its budget, its water budget, which is almost $7 billion a year in North America alone, on transport and disposal, and only 2% on treatment. However, when they treat, they save $1.40 for every barrel of water. Multiply that by how many barrels of water they use, that's a lot of savings. So they should start treating.
Hold on, 22 billion.
Yeah.
$1.25. I have no idea.
$1.40 a barrel is saved.
The other thing that jumps out when you start hanging out with us here on the show is that the trucks that are going to and from the drilling site screw up the roads, the infrastructure, traffic. They run into school buses and kill children. And that's just wrong. No.
Wow.
No, I just took it to the extreme.
Apparently so.
But trucking it in and out is a problem for everyone.
Yeah, you're solving a lot of issues. It's not just one. I mean, there's a lot of ancillary, almost vertical problems you're solving.
Right, and what I'm trying to tell you is that's all great, but industry really is concerned about its costs.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and what this research shows is that they can save a lot of money by treating instead of disposing, which is why this research also predicts that the frack water treatment market will triple over the next 6 years.
You're
That's
in the right spot.
Huge blow up. Absolutely.
So let's talk about do we have that defined in billions yet? Do we know what that number is yet? Is there a dollar amount on that?
Well, it's relatively low. So it's going to go from about $150 million to about $600 million over the 6 years, because it's a tiny piece of that $6 billion number. But I love being in a market where you're so small that each doubling represents huge growth for you, and yet it's only a small piece of it. So there's a huge amount of slack to be made up. The industry, I believe, will be, in fact, the numbers say it right here, reuse is going from 14% to 27% in this period. So 1 out of 3 barrels is going to be reused by 2020. That is an opportunity for us. Now, why are we a key player in that respect?
Okay, let me ask the questions. Why are you a key player in that respect?
You're brilliant. That's a brilliant question.
Actually, I only ask the questions. I can't answer.
Who knows?
No. Well, we have this transformative technology, which takes care of the heavy lifting up front, getting the oil out and all the suspended solids that clog up the stuff, those nanofiltration systems, the membranes and so forth, that makes it so expensive. Because when your membranes are being clogged up all the time, they have to be replaced all the time, and that is a huge expense. So our technology takes the electro-water separation.
Yes.
There it is.
Takes that first stage and removes that stuff so that you basically have clear water going into the final stages.
Right.
And it's such a revolution that it makes it possible for reuse to happen.
It's like taking a shower before you take a bath.
No, it's like taking a shower before you jump in the swimming pool.
There you go.
Let me ask
I mean,
you.
you're cleaning up the stuff, and then it goes through those.
I like how you guys
processes.
work together.
Well, yeah. And what about the stuff you're taking out? Can't you go sell that to someone? Go ahead.
that's
look, I got a
product.
little dirty
That's
oil over
product.
here.
It can be.
It's
right?
product. But, you know, that comes back to our business model, okay? Our business model is kind of like Google Android, right? Which you can license on phones everywhere. At the same time, Google makes a Nexus phone, which is a showcase of what an Android phone should be like.
Right.
So we have a similar model. We license out like crazy, and we just did a big deal in the Caribbean, for example. At the same time, we are selling machines. Our new licensee in Oman just bought a 7-figure machine from us because they wanted to get up and running and
Right
not
away.
have to sit around and manufacture, right?
Yeah.
So that's our business model, is to rapidly license it out, get the technology out there.
Do you have like an IKEA version of your machine? You know, like A into B, B into C. You put it together, you just ship all the parts over, or do you guys go over there and build it and put it in place, make sure it all hooks up right?
Right. Well, essentially,
Like a kit you can
we
buy.
have different manufacturers, and there's a final assembly point.
Yeah.
So we have a power supply manufacturer. We have a manufacturer who makes the tubs, et cetera.
Right.
And then after that, you're right. It's like Legoland at that point.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Here's.
You want the job?
I do. I kind of want to put things
One
together.
last
In the
question, Riggs.
Caribbean.
The existing service providers, and I only got about 30 seconds for you to answer this, but the existing service providers, couldn't you latch on your technology to the existing service providers that deal with water, and is that a whole other way to sell your technology?
Well, that's exactly our model. For example, let's take Oman with this up-and-coming service company that has gone from nothing to $500 million in 7 years. They are forced. All the majors are forced to clean their water in Oman. These guys are servicing it. They're adopting our technology.
See,
Score.
Origin Oil. OriginOil.com. OOIL is the stock symbol. Riggs Eckelberry, the CEO. Great to have you back here. He's going to be here next week, too. I just committed him to that studio, by the way. I want you for a longer segment, too, because since we're picking up a bigger television network, we need to revisit exactly what you guys do from scratch. So we're going to spend some time doing that next week.